To our top focus, Telangana Chief Minister KCR has called a meeting of his cabinet colleagues where he is expected to announce his decision to dissolve the state assembly and the call for an early election in the state. After the cabinet meeting, KCR is likely to meet Governor ECL Narasimhan and request him to dissolve the state assembly. Once the assembly is dissolved, KCR will kickstart his poll campaign, which will include 100 meetings in 50 days. The campaign will start from tomorrow. The assembly elections in Telangana are otherwise set for 2019, along in fact with the Lok Sabha elections of 2019. The decision to advance the polls is being taken to ensure the mood during the general election does not overshadow or affect the local issues. In fact, the Chief Minister recently dropped several hints. He is considering the option of early polls in the state. The mega rally held on Sunday was seen as a show of strength before the key announcement. All right, breaking news coming in. In fact, KCR wants assembly polls in Telangana in November or December, 5 months ahead of the schedule. This is the latest that sources are indicating. Let me go across to my colleague Ashish, who's joining us live from Hyderabad for more on this story. Ashish, what you're picking up from the sources, and interesting also, is that the meeting was supposed to take place in the morning, now has been shifted for 1 p.m. But more or less all signs coming in that he would want the elections to take place, possibly with the elections in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh.
Yes, Ankit, you are absolutely right. Earlier, what our sources had confirmed us that Chief Minister will hold a cabinet meeting at 6:45 a.m. But now that meeting has been postponed. What we are learning that at around 1 p.m. Chief Minister will hold a cabinet meeting. After that meeting, he'll drive to Governor House at around 2 p.m. and 2:30 he'll be holding a press conference, a media address, as well as he'll address party men at party head office located at Banjara Hills area. That's what we are learning from our sources who are aware about the happenings. If we talk about what TRS governments are planning, or basically what are the plans of TRS government and its Chief Minister KCR. So they are planning to have an early election along with Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh in December. And that's why several transfers was made in past 1 week. We saw IES getting shifted out from several districts, state cadre officers being transferred, police ACPs, DCPs, inspectors. So large-scale transfers and postings, all hints that government is fully prepared and they are preparing for an early election. But the timing when cabinet will take the decision and when Chief Minister will go and meet governor, there only all speculation we all are looking and watching keenly, because Chief Minister is the sole person who can take the decision. We were in touch with several senior leaders of TRS party. Right. They all say that they have full faith in Chief Minister, and whatever decision Chief Minister will take, they will support the decision of Chief Minister. In last rally also, okay, Chief Minister said that cabinet has endorsed and appointed him to take the decision, and he'll take the decision at appropriate time.
All right. Okay, thank you Ashish for joining us with all those details. Of course, at 1 o'clock, we'll go back to Ashish. He'll be giving us more information on what is happening in Telangana. But why is it that KCR wants early elections? Let's take a look at very quickly at this presentation, in fact, and why KCR believes that it will be beneficial for him to, in fact, go ahead and go in for early elections with Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh. So the reasons for him, in fact, KCR fears that being reduced to nominal player in Lok Sabha if assembly polls are held together, there is this whole worry that Prime Minister Modi and whatever the mood at that time in the country would be, that is going to affect the fortunes of a party which is based in a state. Now, polls in December may put KCR in advantageous position if he performs good or if he comes back to power for the Lok Sabha elections, he would be in a better position to bargain with either side. Now, KCR will project polls as a battle between himself and others. He would want to make it presidential. He would want to make it KCR versus the rest in Telangana. Early polls will help KCR formulate Lok Sabha poll strategy. As I was telling you earlier, if he performs well, comes back into power, he would be in a better position to decide who he wants to go with after the Lok Sabha elections. Telangana Chief Minister will vie for possibly the Prime Minister's post if TRS wins maximum Lok Sabha seat. Remember, there is this group which is trying to take place, the Mahagathbandhan against Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We yet don't know who is the face of that Mahagathbandhan. KCR hopes to get bargaining chip with the BJP if Modi falls short of in 2019. If the BJP, as many analysts as of now are predicting, is going to fall short of the magic mark, people like KCR, who would possibly perform better in their states, they are going to be the key crucial element for the government formation in 2019. Now, let me introduce very quickly our panel of guests, those who are there with us to discuss this issue very quickly. We were, in fact, initially hoping that this will happen early in the morning and we would have a long discussion on this. Now, it has been shifted at 1 p.m. But T.S. Sudhir, political analyst, is with us on the broadcast. We are also being joined by T.R. Ramachandran. He's also a senior political analyst. Kalani Shankar is a political commentator who is joining us on the broadcast as well. Well, let me begin with you, Mr. Ramachandran, since you are here in the studio next to me. Why do you think KCR believes that his best chance is early poll, possibly November, December?
You know, it won't be advantageous for him to go along with the Lok Sabha elections, as has been the practice. The first time the state was formed, it went along with the Lok Sabha polls and they had the elections. But I think his basic fear is that he could lose the Muslim vote, which is a very significant chunk in Telangana. The other aspect is that if he were to combine himself with the Lok Sabha, maybe his chances of getting re-elected are far lesser than what it is if he goes by the end of this year along with the elections in the 3 states, as you mentioned, Ankit, some time ago. So I think in the overall analysis, there is not much of an opposition for him barring the Congress party.
Yes.
The Congress party is doing reasonably well in Telangana. The Telugu Desam party is not much of a force in that state. And at the end of the day, the Congress is once again faced with factionalism within its own unit. So I think he sees this as going on as his best chance. And obviously he's going to make some big ticket announcements for the government servants before he really goes to the governor and submits his resignation.
Sudhir, you know, we saw this rally on Sunday and this was being touted as a big rally in which KCR was supposed to make some sort of a big announcement. Expectations were there will be, you know, about 10 lakh people, as was being claimed by the TRS. At least the turnout was not as big as it was expected. Reports claim that he was not happy with the kind of turnout that came to that rally. Is that an indication that should worry KCR, possibly rethink about his strategy for going into early polls?
Well, the TRS did hype that rally on the public meeting on the 2nd of September, claiming that in fact 25 lakh people will attend the rally, that it will be the mother of all public meetings. It will be a big fat political event. Eventually, just about 6 lakh odd people turned up at the event. So that would definitely something of a dampener as far as the TRS leadership was concerned, given the fact that KCR's own son KT Ramarao was directly in charge of organizing that particular public meeting. But yes, as far as KCR is concerned, he does believe that going in for early polls has its advantages, especially if it happens along with the other Hindi-speaking states of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh in December. The reason being that he believes that if the Congress manages to do well in these 3 states, it will carry that momentum into Telangana, which shares the border with Chhattisgarh, and that may affect his chances if the elections are held on schedule in April 2019. Also, he does not really want to give time to the Congress to organize itself well, especially financially. Also, remember that the Congress and the Telugu Desam are planning an alliance in this particular election. Again, he wants to cut short that time so that the vote transfer does not take place effectively enough between the two parties on the ground. So KCR believes that if he introduces a surprise element, takes the opposition parties by surprise, he will have a better chance in the assembly elections. The other reason being that the Congress is his principal opposition in Telangana. The BJP not really much of a factor. So he's much more concerned about the Rahul Gandhi factor playing out than the Narendra Modi factor. In fact, the Congress charge is here is that the TRS is pretty much like a B team of the BJP in Telangana. So there is some kind of a tacit understanding between the BJP and TRS, which is another reason why the BJP is not opposing, at least the national leadership is not opposing KCR's plan to go in for early polls. He had the discussion with both the Prime Minister and Rajnath Singh, Home Minister, while he was in Delhi in August. That's what the BJP sources in Telangana are telling us. But even though the local unit is not very happy about this decision, but the national leadership believes that it would much rather go with what KCR plans at this point in time, so that they can have a post-poll friend if the numbers fail them after the 2019 Lok Sabha elections.
Absolutely. And for Narendra Modi and Amit Shah, the most important thing is the 2019 election. At the altar of that election, possibly Telangana is just a smaller game for them. But Kalyani Shankar, 6, we have seen how KCR, believes that is his lucky number. His cars are 6. Everything that possibly he does starts with the number 6. Today is 6th of September. Today is the day when he is going to go, for him, the auspicious day when he can in fact announce these polls? Or are there still some loose ends that he needs to tie up before in fact he goes in for this big battle?
All my sources tell me that for all purposes, he is ready to go today only to the governor and then recommend dissolution of the assembly. But then number 6, as you say, is very, astrologers particularly is ruling Telangana. You might have heard earlier also how many times, these astrologers, according to the astrologers, they had, he had gone ahead and then he had even given money to Tirupati and also this Yadagiri Gutta. He is trying to make Yadagiri Gutta as just as important as Tirupati. So he believes in astrology. His house was built on astrological predictions. So that is one thing which you can definitely see, that he will take the astrologer's position. Even the timing of the cabinet meeting and even everything else is decided by astrologers. You might recall there was a Gomango in Congress. He also used to even hold public meetings, cabinet meetings, everything according to the astrology, but he was himself an astrologer. So there was a difference. So he will definitely go today, but he is a risky taker, risk taker. So earlier also when he left Telugu Desam, he took a big risk and he came out and he launched this Telangana Rashtra Samiti. Then somehow or other, he managed to survive. And even after he was, on Dharna here, then nobody ever thought that Congress will announce that Telangana, separate Telangana. Chidambaram on 9th December came out and announced that separate Telangana process will be formed. So that is a life-saving thing for him. So he is expecting definitely to win, and as all other panelists had been talking about, he does not have much of opposition as of now. And he definitely had, even after the last elections, this will be the second election for Telangana, even after the last elections, he had only 63, but he broke Telugu Desam and he broke other parties, and now he's got 90. So he is a master strategist and he's trying to take a gambling now.
Yes.
This gamble might pay for him, this might pay not for him, I don't know.
Right.
But then let's wait and see what he does. But he will definitely go for he's made up his mind. His people are telling me one more thing. His people are telling me if not today, he will call assembly on 20th and then make a big grand speech, because his people are not very happy about the rally speech that day. He did not attack the other political parties very much, which they wanted him to. So that is what they are expecting. If not today or after 20th, they will do it.
Mr. Ramachandran, just to divulge or delve more into the pros and cons of what this decision could be for Telangana and for the TRS, what do you think, if any, that can backfire for KCR for these early elections? Is there any negative that he need to watch out for, or as of now the ground is clear for him to in fact go ahead and ensure that he comes back to power by early elections?
There is definite anti-incumbency against him in the state. You know, that cannot be ruled out at all. And I think that is one basic aspect because of which he wants to have early election. Because if he clubs this with the general election, as has been the practice in the first instance, I think there could be a setback for him in terms of votes coming to the TRS, to his party. So I think that is one of the major factors. And the other thing is, he doesn't want to give the opposition too much time to gang up and, you know, stand against him.
Yes.
The whole idea is to make some major announcement, but I think his one problem has been when he has gone on record and to tell the people that if he has not been able to fulfill his pledges, they are free to throw him out. That is one Damocles sword hanging on his hand, because he has not been able to fulfill all the pledges that he has made to the people so far. Nevertheless, I think there are certain aspects which have earned him the goodwill of the people, and he wants to build on it and take it forward. And don't forget, if he's expected to make some big ticket announcements about increases for the government servants and so on and so forth in Telangana.
Okay.
So he is banking on that and a few other aspects, you know, which he thinks is really going to be in his favor at this point of time.
Sudhir, very quickly, because I have to wrap it, wrap this up after your response. How is it going to affect his chances, win or lose in both scenarios? How is it going to affect his chances for for a role of a major player in the 2019 elections?
Well, KCR is a long-term player. In fact, many of his close friends and aides have been telling him that he needs to stitch a KCR for Prime Minister narrative. So he's borrowing from the Jayalalitha template of 2014, when even Jayalalitha and the AIDMK projected her as a Prime Ministerial candidate. This, he believes, will boost his chances in the Lok Sabha elections, and should there be a fractured mandate, he can emerge as the Devagowda of 2019. So definitely long-term plans, but before that he wants to get the assembly elections out of the way. So if the assembly elections are out of the way, he has his son as part of a succession plan to succeed him as Chief Minister of Telangana, and he could make a bid for the top post. So definitely there is a plan A, plan B, plan C as far as KCR is concerned. But yes, at this point in time, a lot of secrecy associated with when the decision will take place. We are told a timing of 1 o'clock, but I guess with most things associated with KCR and the TRS, only KCR and perhaps his astrologer know.
KCR and his astrologer know what is going to be the future for him and for Telangana. I thank all my panelists for joining me on this. I would have liked a larger debate, larger discussion on this, but unfortunately the meeting has been shifted to 1 p.m. We will in fact connect with all of you at 1 as well. Thank you so much T.S. Sudhir, Mr. Ramachandran and Ms. Kanai Shankar for joining me on the broadcast. With that, we are slipping into a very short break. On the other side, Supreme Court is set to pronounce the verdict on the petitions challenging Section 377. More details on the other side. Stay tuned.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.